On February 4th, 1912, at 8:22 a.m., in Paris, France, a man by the name of Franz Reichelt decided to jump out from the Eiffel Tower. Cause of death: accident. Case closed. Yes, he just jumped. He made it because he can. But the fact that he did not respect the laws of nature will not respect him back. Simple. He wasn't aware of the laws of the aerodynamics. So his ending was a free fall, which made him die. Yet I respect him because he had the courage to jump. But why I'm speaking today about Mr. Reichelt? Because he teaches me something. Our civilization today is experiencing the same as what Mr. Reichelt experienced. We are actually free falling. Yet a lot of us believe that we are flying. Our civilization, and all of civilizations in the course of history, did not follow a basic law on how people can live life. So they end up free falling, and their ending was catastrophic. Our civilization today is experiencing the same thing. Yet some people might say, we are flying. But the thing is, we are believing that we're flying. We're hypnotized that we're flying. But we're not. Why I'm saying that? Technology-wise is what made us today say that we are free falling. I just have an article here with me, written on February 24, 2020. Which is this year, by MIT Technology Review. In this article, that is titled by "We're Not Prepared for the End of Moore's Law." For those of you who do not know Moore's Law is a law that say every 2 years the number of transistors in a chip will be doubled, which makes your computer much more powerful. And this was true. Moore's Law was right about it. Till about 5 years, they started questioning it. We started moving very, very slow in this progress. To a point where this article was written. In this article, it's been said that it's over. This year, that became really clear, says Charles Laserson, a computer scientist at MIT and pioneer of parallel computing. The newest Intel fabrication plant, meant to build chips with minimum feature sizes of 10 nanometer, was much delayed, delivering chips in 2019. 5 years after the previous generation of chips with 14 nanometer features. Moore's Law, Laserson says, was always about the rate of progress, and we're no longer on that rate. Mr. Laserson was clear about it, that we are going slower and slower on the Moore's Law. And this does not bring very, very good news. Moreover, we have, likewise, the fabs that make the most advanced chips are becoming prohibitively pricey. The cost of a fab is rising at around 13% a year, and is expected to reach $16 billion or more by 2022. Not coincidentally, the number of companies with plans to make the next generation of chips has now shrunk to only 3, down from 8 in 2010 and 25 in 2002. So even the companies that work on such advancement, they are low. They're just 3 now. And the basic fact that we need a lot of money to fund this research that they need to advance in technology, they do not expect that they'll be able to do it. Moreover, finding successors to today's silicon chips will take years of research. If you're worried about what will replace Moore's Law, it's time to panic. Simply because they don't have a different law than Moore's Law today that predicts the future. And they're trying to make either a better law or a law that is even close to Moore's Law. But where are we going to? Let's have a look here. We have Erika Fuchs from the same article, a professor of engineering and public policy of Carnegie Mellon. She says, the problem is that the successors to today's general purpose chips are unknown and will take years of basic research and development to create. If you're worried about what will replace Moore's Law, she suggests, the moment to panic is now. There are, she says, really smart people in the AI who aren't aware of the hardware constraints facing long-term advances in computing. What's more, she says, because application-specific chips are proving hugely profitable, there are few incentives to invest in new logic devices and ways of doing computing. That being said, in this article, those are the biggest people in technological world are panicking about the technological advancement. That is why I said before, we are free falling. But it's not because of the technological advancement we're free falling. It's because we did not start this civilization with a law that enables us to live the right way, respecting nature. And the laws of nature will disrespect us. Now, if we look outside today, all of those problems we're facing in our civilization, that is becoming a global civilization. The civilizations before were all not global, but now we are facing a global civilization. We are falling, and we need to wake up to just this simple fact that we are disrespecting the laws of nature. Human beings, since the start of civilizations, the start of the agricultural revolution, when they built up their advancements, they didn't think about how the consequences of this civilization will be. They just did it by trial and error. The same as Mr. Reichelt in the video did. And he just jumped. He doesn't know where he's gonna be, but he knows two possibilities: either fly or the ground. And that is what happened. He just hit the ground. And our civilization today did the same thing. It just jumped in the word of technological advancement, industrial revolution. But the people, where are the people going? Till now, they don't know how to live. For a simple fact that a lot of people now, they don't even know how to pay their bills. A lot of homeless people, a lot of destruction going on. And if we see what's going on today with all this pandemic and wars, it doesn't give us a lot of hope to say that we're not free falling. I can sit and say, let me believe I'm flying. But the moment I see what's going on in this world, I see that no, we are actually free falling. Do we have a solution for this? Yes, there is. The solution is to find a law that respects nature and respects human beings to live upon. Not to just do it by trial and error and start putting laws here and there. And what we'll reach is we'll go out of control. For the simple fact that the person who leads the civilization is not wise enough to lead all of those people and all of those lands. I don't believe there is a wise human being that can rule over this number of people. So you know what they do? They start doing things like viruses to depopulate us. Because they're out of control. They reach that point that they are out of control for the civilization. And they know one day they will reach that point. 100 years ago, they also reached that point. They went out of control and they started doing wars, pandemics, whatever. And today, we are facing the same issue. But how many trial and errors there would be? Whom to blame about this? Whoever is leading those civilizations. And know that human beings are not created for this kind of civilization. But what we can do, is there another way? You can go off grid, live in nature, buy land. But do you have money to buy a land? Do you have money to buy a house, at least? Is there even a way possible today to fix this problem we're living in? That is why we need to wake up for the fact that we are going down the hill. birth control, just to control where this civilization is going. But is this a solution? No. No. I will tell you why. The tribal people have been living on Earth for millions of years, going through the same system, whatever you want to call their system. Till now, they still exist. But the bad thing is, the leaders of the civilizations are forcing them to buy their lands and destroy their story. The story we talked about in the first episode. But would they survive in this kind of civilization? I believe they will still survive. Why? Because we are falling and they are watching where we will go. I'd like to call it a theater, actually. I don't like to call it civilization. We are actually in a theater. We're actors in this theater. Just so you don't know. And who are watching this movie? Those tribal people are watching where are we going to. And they are enjoying. They are enjoying that we are killing each other and destroying everyone else. Because they are respecting the laws of nature. But we are living to destroy. When we reach that point to live to destroy, yes, we will be falling down and we won't have any hope. Even if Moore's law or the technological advancements kept on going, what do you expect from people in Silicon Valley to do? What do you expect them? Do you expect them to help you? They will create anything that will control you. Artificial intelligence? What can artificial intelligence help us with? Do we need artificial intelligence to survive? People going to space. But what would space bring us? As long as we don't know how to put a law on how to live life. Because we will be the same as the coronavirus, the COVID-19. We will be the same as this virus. We will be pandemics for Earth. We are the virus in this civilization. And this virus is actually eliminating a lot of this phenomena. COVID-19 is not the virus. COVID-19 is the cure for the virus. And that virus is us. As long as wherever we go, we destroy. To create, you need to destroy. This is what this civilization is teaching you. Just conquer. I would recommend for you a book. It's called The Living Water. I'm gonna put the picture here and I'm gonna put a source in the description box. It's a good book to read by Olaf Alexanderson, where he writes about Victor Schauberger and the secrets of natural energy. We are building our civilization in destructive manner, not in constructive manner. The simple fact that our cars move by a process to explode to move the car, or combustion, the process of combustion, that is the same fact we are destroying to create. And he has a solution in his book called implosion machine, or the implosion method, if you want to call it, where he creates by implosion rather by an explosion or by combustion. And inside the book he has mentioned a machine that enables us to move cars by the power of imploding water, because he had a theory in the book that water has an energy that can make us create many things out of it. I would recommend that book. Just give it a try. It's a great one. But is there hopes in this civilization? Building a civilization out of trial and error is not a game. It's not a game. You can go and build a civilization, build an aircraft with trial and error. You can try, then if it didn't work, you can try again and again and again. But building a civilization out of trial and error, is this even acceptable? Building a civilization in trial and error will be having a catastrophic ending, because we're not playing a game over here. Or maybe we are playing a game, the game of civilizations. Whom to blame? I would blame human beings, because they are the ones that can do the change. But to be more specific, I blame the human beings that are the masses, not the leaders, because the leaders, they want this. Even they know this, actually. They know that our civilization is going downhills, not uphills. That is why they depopulate and do all of this. Because they know that they read history. They know that all of civilizations in history didn't have a basic law to live, because that shift from the nature, from the tribal laws to civilization, that point of shifting is the basic reason why they know that we don't have a law. Nature conquers us. That was before. But no longer of this will happen. Now we are the conquerors. But the fact that we are the conquerors and we have many minds, no one will be winning at the end. The ending will be catastrophic. We will be going downhills. If my mind and somebody else's mind and many people's minds want to put a law, one law, this is not possible. We will end up creating chaos. But back then, when the people were based on the one law, which is nature's law, or you can call it God's law, that is when they said, we don't want to be part of this story. We don't want to be part of God's story anymore. So they went out of the bounds of, let's call it, heaven. They shifted out of the bounds of heaven. And that is when the stories like Adam and Eve, the tree, the apple, the sin started. When we shifted from the bounds of God, the bounds of heaven, to the bounds of a civilization. That is exactly the point where the stories of Adam and Eve, Abel and Cain started showing up. Started teaching people by symbols. The fact that the story of Adam and Eve started with a sin and under a tree. And when they ate that apple, which is a symbol of sins, the sins of a civilization, they went out of the bounds of the tree and started cutting off the trees to build their civilization. That is the birth of agricultural revolution, the tree. And the story continues. The story moves on and on and on. But where are we going to? As I said, we are falling down the hill. Is there a spark of a hope? You might call it a savior or whatever you want to call it. Like every religion has a name to it. Armageddon, the end of times. Out of my study, I believe there is a savior. It's gonna be in me or you or anybody around us that can wake up to this fact that this civilization that is happening today is leading us to destruction. Or the savior or whoever those religions are waiting to come, he won't be part of the civilization law. He will be part of something else. I don't know what, but this is just my opinion. But there is a spark of hope. There is a spark of hope. And hopefully, we will find a way to live. It might not be going back to the old days. I'm not saying if you go back to the tribal way of living. I'm not saying that that way is the way of life. I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm not saying that it's the only way of life. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that the civilization is the only way of life. No, I'm not saying that. We human beings evolve. But the evolve process that we went, that shift, didn't go the right way. And we need to wake up to this fact. We need to start thinking about building laws other than the laws that we have, instead of putting money in going to space and being so pessimistic about Earth that it's gonna get destroyed and everybody will die. So let's go out to Mars. Mr. Elon Musk, what are you thinking about? Can you even go there? You know you can't. But instead of convincing people to put money inside of your project. Just invest it in educational systems to teach people how to live on Earth. Let them know how to live here first, to get a spark of an idea how to live somewhere else. Because if you will go there, you will destroy Mars, believe me or not. Because you are part of this civilization that taught you, that made you enact inside of its story, the story we talked about in the first video, in the first episode. You were enacted in the same story to conquer, and you will go and conquer Mars and make people bow for you. Yet you are a human being. Just making you remember that you are just a human being. That is all I wanted to say for today. I hope it brought that spark inside of you that brings up the rebel to wake up to such circumstances we're in today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it if you like and share this podcast with your family, friends, or whoever, just to spread the wake-up call. And you can leave me in the comment box whatever you believe. If you're against me, you just comment. Say that I do not agree with you on this point. If you are with me, also let me know more. Maybe there's many things I don't know. There is actually many things I don't know in this world. And we need all to educate ourselves. You can also DM me on my Instagram. I'm gonna put it here. And I hope you have a great life. See you again in the next episode. Thank you.